my board, have I? No. Just make sure. Right, I put a cock and balls by the side of my head. Yeah, going into the side of my head. Yeah.
This is definitely staying in. I'm not even going to leave a gap. Welcome to the Sales and Marketing for Decorators podcast with me, John Mears, and I'm joined once again by 2018 Dulux Decorator of the Year and recently approved Which Trusted Trader, Trevor Mangan. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Very good. How's this Which Trusted Trader then?
Well, we were just talking about that, weren't we? It's not easy to get into. It's a real struggle. It got to the point where I actually got to the sort of near enough to tell them just to not bother because they wanted to see a copy of my tax return. Yeah. So that was a step too far, but we got around it. But yeah, it's a long, involved process, and yeah, I finally got there, but it wasn't easy. But yeah, hopefully it'll be worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I saw you got the logo straight on your website. You got a sticker for the van yet?
No, I'm waiting for my stickers. I've got a certificate, but yeah.
All that time and money, and they still haven't sent you a sticker.
I know. All I want is a sticker.
Most expensive sticker you've ever bought.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, hopefully it'll be worthwhile. So we shall see. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. So, what we're talking about today, then, we are talking about. I don't even know what I'm going to name this podcast, but it's going to be about how to grow your business in the right way. And more importantly, it's going to be about firing clients, knowing when to walk away, knowing what clients aren't ready for your business. And this has started because you've had a bit of a run-in with this recently, haven't you? You said goodbye to a customer. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're working working for her. She was a bit of a developer, and it didn't start off well when I first looked at the job. So I went there, and when someone's a little bit too keen, and she was wanting to book me in, and I said, "Well, I haven't given you a quote yet." She said, "Well, no, I'm sure you'll be fine. Can I book you in for?" I think it was the end of March. I said, "Yeah, okay." And I said, "Well, let me give you." Quote will be fine anyway. So it was all left a little bit up in the air, but I did pencil in for the end of March. A couple of weeks later, I got a phone call saying, "I'm really sorry. The builder wants to use his decorators. I'm going to have to cancel you." So, when you've had, when you think, "Oh, that's nice. I've got a nice run of work. Probably see me through April."
Yeah.
So that got cancelled. Then she said, "Don't worry. She's got an outside of a warehouse needs doing. Can you do that in the summer?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So that was all booked in. Went and did it. Give her a price, but did that the right way round. So that was all ready to go. And then about 3 weeks ago, I got a phone call from her saying, "Oh, well, I'm moving out of my property where I'm at the moment. I'm going to rent it out. Can you come in and just put a few bit of coats of paint around the wall room, around the roof, just tidy up when I move out for the new tenant?" I said, "Yeah, okay." So arranged a time and a date, arranged what we'd charge you for the day. We were meant to go there on the Tuesday. On the Monday night, "Oh, sorry, can I cancel you until Friday?" So I should have said no, really, but me being me, trying to be helpful, I said, "Yeah, okay." So we went there Friday, and she was there most of the day moving her stuff out, and we were there doing bits and pieces, snagging, and one of those bitty, crappy jobs, really. Anyway, throughout the day, we were talking about Max, because Max with me, the apprentice I've got, lovely lad. And how long's he been with you? And I said, "Well, he's been with me since March," and thought nothing more of it. Anyway, do the day, get home about 5:30. I'll get a text message from her saying, "I feel really awful, but due to Max's lack of experience, I'm not very happy to have him on the job because we were meant to be doing the outside the following week, this week. Yeah. I'm not very comfortable to have him about." And I messaged back saying, "Well, no, Max won't be there on his own. I'm sorry if I gave you that impression, but I'll be there with him." And it was no, I'm still not very comfortable to have him about. So I sent her a message back saying I'm a bit disappointed that she can't encourage youngsters in the trade, and really think we should be supporting people like Max, who's hard working and does a good job, and he's trying to learn. And I said, "No," I said, "I'm not." I said, "Well, no, if you're not having Max, then I'm not prepared to do the job for you," and just walked away. So whether that was the thing, whether it was a thing all along that she didn't want to pay, or I don't know. When you get that sort of feeling, you think, well, I should have walked away back in bloody March. Just walked away from the job. But me being me, and normally I'm pretty good at spotting, potential problems, because I want to do a job, do a good job, have a happy customer, and get paid. It's that simple, really. You don't want all the grief.
Yeah, you don't usually get caught out by these sort of things, do you? You tend to be able to spot them early enough, and just sort of politely.
And that's one of the good things of getting older, isn't it? When you get older, you do actually get a sort of nose for it, and you think, I've been down this road before, and you can see the patterns from before. But for some reason or other, she slipped through. But
you got rid of her in the end, though, and I think ultimately you could have jumped through the next hoop and said, right, Max is not going to be on the job, I'm going to do this myself, and you still could have gone ahead with the work. But
then what's that saying to Max? That's not. It's not, is it? It's not the sort of thing I want to. That's not what I want to be telling him. I want to be saying no. Also, and to be fair, he did. He said, thanks for backing me, and I thought it's not a case of that. It's just not acceptable to be that sort of person.
Yeah.
And luckily that was on the Friday, and then luckily on the Saturday we went and did a feature wall, little Saturday morning job, and the people there couldn't have been more the opposite. They were talking about Max and how he's, it's good because you can earn where you learn, earn where you learn, and then going back, I did explain to the Friday woman, I said, although Max has been with me since March, he's been with another local decorator, considerably longer. So whether she was, she asked me how long he'd been with me, which was since March, but he'd also been, she didn't really give him the chance to sort of show his skills anyway. So
I think that's a perfect example of how beneficial it is for small businesses to do things like that, which is essentially cutting out shit customers, cutting out customers that don't appreciate you and your business and what you do. Because when you do that, all of a sudden it frees up all this time and energy for you to go out and get new, better customers, and that is
a
very condensed. Yeah, exactly. That Saturday morning job, that came along literally straight away. It's almost like good karma that happened. But if you'd have been stuck on that other job, you probably wouldn't have got that one. It would have been difficult for you to fit it into the diary or whatever. So. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. So I told you, obviously, before we got started, I've been reading this book, The Pumpkin Plan, it's called, by Mike Michalowicz, which I'm sure I haven't pronounced right. But anyway, it's The Pumpkin Plan is a way of building a small business, and it's very much focused on firing those shitty clients, those customers, not wasting your time and your energy chasing for payments or following up on quotes 10 times and taking all of those jobs that you really don't want to do. It's about focusing on what you're good at and finding the customers that are right for you and your business. And when you do that, things like what happened to you, good things start to happen and your business will start to grow organically. And he calls it the Pumpkin Plan because, so I'm going to read a little bit from the summary here because it's better than I'll explain it. So basically, if you imagine that your business is a pumpkin, and if you wanna find your unique, your brilliant, best-selling, growing business, it's about having that, those big show prize-winning pumpkins that are the size of a small car. It's about how you get to that, and when you have that big show-winning, prize-winning pumpkin, it's like a magnet. People come to you to see it. People want to know what you're doing. People want to get involved with what you don't even have to advertise it. People are just like, oh my God, that's the world record largest pumpkin. And it's all about how do you get to that? So number one, you have to have the right sort of seed. But then when you plant that seed, you focus your attention on it. And when you've got your vine, you might be trying all different things, but you need to cut away all those rotten pumpkins or the ones that aren't going to make it and just focus on the ones that have the most potential. And that's what it is for for your business. So as a decorator, you might start off with, you're going to be doing everything, and a lot of decorators, never want to turn down a job and everything like that. But once your business starts growing, you need to look at, okay, I'm doing wallpapering jobs, I'm doing kitchen resprays, I'm doing hall stairs and landings, I'm doing commercial, I'm doing low-end residential and lettings and stuff like that, I'm doing high-end residential and stuff. And at the start, you don't turn down any of those jobs, but at some point you need to look at that and go, right, which of these are the rotten customers, which are the rotten pumpkins, and start cutting those away and just focus on what's really good for your business. So it might be that you're happiest and making the most money when you're doing kitchen resprays or wallpapering. Let's say it's wallpapering, and then so you decide to focus in on that. And once you then start cutting out all of those energy sapping parts of the business, that you don't really enjoy, whether it's the spraying or just the residential lettings work or whatever it is, you start cutting that out, then all of a sudden you find that actually you don't need half the amount of equipment in your van anymore. Your running costs are a lot lower. You become much more efficient at what you're doing, and suddenly you are the wallpaper specialist that everybody's recommending to their friends, because this guy, you've got to see him do his wallpapering. It's incredible to watch him work, and it's because that's all he does. So you're making your business much leaner by stripping out all that stuff. You're not buying thousands of pounds worth of sprayers. You're not buying paint anymore if you're the wallpaper specialist. So your business becomes streamlined, and you grow that massive pumpkin. And I think it's something that you've started looking into, this area of your business, haven't you, to see where most of your work is coming from, what's the best type of work that is, what's without going into too much detail about pivot tables and stuff like that. You've been tracking this stuff on an Excel sheet, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kitchen resprays is a good one. I've got quite a few of those. Hall stairs and landings is a good old bread and butter one.
Yeah.
And it is just about sort of like trying to find out where you're getting all the inquiries from. And I mean, I've said this for a long time to a couple of local decorators that I know. I still think there is a potential to be able to, between maybe 2 or 3 of us, to be able to employ a decorator for those jobs that you get. When someone phones up and they want a decorator, I want it done next week. And because at the moment, because everybody's so busy, if you had a decorator, you could say, well, yeah, I know I've got someone I could put in there next week for you, or we could do it next week. There's an awful lot of people that I think you could charge a premium right now, and I think you'd have enough. I think if 2 or 3 of you got together and sort of kept one other decorator busy, you could share him between you. I think that is I think there is an option to do that. And I know a few decorators that don't actually keep too much work in their diary. They always, if they've got a month's worth of work, they'll always keep a week spare for those sort of jobs, and they earn some sort of good money doing that. So
it's about identifying those areas, isn't it, where you can be unique. So you could be the guy that can always find a way to fit you in within a couple of weeks or something, and that can be your USP. That can be what makes you unique, and then focus in on that and grow that. Not trying to be everything to everyone.
No. I mean, if you get a name for being that decorator that, like you say, can fit you in at a moment's notice, then I think there's a premium. People will, there is a premium for that. People will pay for that sort of service, and I think that's where, I know you spoke about them before, but that alliance work people.
Alliance Workforce,
I've been talking to them recently, and they seem to have a really good setup. So I've got a couple of blokes booked in the next few weeks. So hopefully that'll work out, and we'll see how that goes. But I think there's a lot to be said for trying to sort of work that way.
Yeah, definitely. One of the techniques it talks about in the book for finding that unique area is so firstly you need to identify who are your best customers, and why are they your best customers. You love working for them. There's never any dramas or chasing when it comes to getting paid. It could be simple stuff. it's unlimited tea and biscuits on the job, whatever it is that makes those customers above. And then you go, right, let's talk to these customers. Let's find out what is really important to them. Find out, why they chose you in the first place, but talk to them and find out, what can I do to serve these people even better? And you might talk to some of these customers, and it might come up exactly as you're saying. They're like, I just wish I could get you in earlier. And then you start working out, okay, what do I need to do in my business to be able to accommodate that? And you could start working out process and systems so that if your top customers call you, you can get in there nice and quickly. And that then makes you unique. And what happens then is those people, obviously, the word of mouth spreads like wildfire, because they go and find people who are exactly the same as them, potentially great customers, and go, you need to work with Trev, get on his platinum list or whatever. And he comes and you can pick up the phone and he'll be there to do some decorating work within a month or something like that, or whatever you set it up as.
I think that would work well, because scarcity sells, doesn't it? So if you say you've only got 10 platinum customers, if they knew they're in some sort of like unique, I mean, that would be. And then I think the way you could do it quite easily is, like I said before, rather than book up 4 weeks every month or whatever, book up 3 weeks, so you've always got that. And then also you can still drag jobs forward, and so customers will be, oh yeah, I can get to you a week earlier. If nothing comes in, or there's no decorating that needs to be done that quickly, you can always pull jobs forward.
And you identify when you identify your customers, and you talk to them about this, and you basically say, I can do this, I can make myself available within a month or whatever for this premium list of customers which you will be part of. But what I need to know from you, Mrs. Jones, is are you willing to pay for this? Because there's going to be a premium on it, and you could almost set it up so if you put your prices up by 25%, then you only need to work 3 weeks out of every 4 to be earning just as much money. So you go, right, Mrs. Jones, is this service really that valuable to you? Because I'll put my prices up by 25%. But that if you ever want anything doing, I can be there within a month or whatever. Then as soon as you start going, people, yes, sign me up, take the money, away you go. Then you've got something that you can build on. And then they start talking to people, and then you get that reputation of, you must speak to our decorator, Trev. He's more expensive, but if you decided what you want, he'll get you in first. Use this referral code or whatever. You can think of different ways to make them feel special.
And how would your customer feel if they got something through the post, saying platinum customer or something? It's going to, they're going to feel bloody hell. And just because they're loyal, it's sort of like a Sainsbury's, isn't it? Or Tesco's loyalty card, but on a much more personal basis.
Yeah, exactly. And we see this in the industry already. People specialising on certain areas and building up a name for it. And Pete Wilkinson is one of those guys who, when he went into spraying and specialising in spraying, and that's all he did, and he was, just the #1 sprayer, and that's what he was known for. That was his giant pumpkin. It was drawing people in. People were desperate to work with him, because he was the spraying guy, the guy that could spray out 9 apartments in a day or whatever it was, and how he was changing. And his whole business is streamlined because he's not doing wallpaper or anything like that. He's just doing spraying, and he's picking and choosing his jobs. And it very quickly became, if you need this sort of job doing, Pete's your man. And all the business started coming to him. And it's about understanding that is a great thing to have as a small business, and it's a great way to grow your business, and it's about finding, okay, so what can be the unique thing for me? What can make me different in my local area? Because there's probably half a dozen decorators in your local area, all offering pretty much the same services, I would say.
Yeah.
So to try and be better than them, it's difficult. You want to be different.
Yeah, I think it is quite a ballsy move, though, isn't it, to be able to put all your eggs in one basket and say, I am the best at this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why decorators try and do a broad, got a broad skill base, because they think, rather than doing one thing, 100%, they think they need to be doing, a bit of wallpapering, a bit of painting, a bit of spraying. But, it is a bold move, and it is a bit. I can see why there's a reluctance to do it. Definitely,
but on the flip side, you've got to think of it as if you're offering all these services to pretty much anyone who wants you to work for them, then you might be spending 3 weeks out of every 4 not fucking liking your job, because you're doing stuff that you're doing. It might be, oh, I'm doing wallpapering today. I haven't done wallpapering in 4 months, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've not used this paper before. It's going to be a nightmare day. Plus, the customer's a fucking shithead. I've got to go and chase money off this other crap customer. And you get home, you're absolutely fucking drained of energy. You don't want to be a decorator anymore. Whereas if you're just working for the customers you want to work for, doing just what you want to do, all of a sudden you've got much more energy and drive and ambition to go out and find new people just like that. So it's almost like you're by streamlining and specializing, you're cutting out so much wasted time, and that time you will then start using to find more and more people who you actually want to deal with. 100%, it's a ballsy move to sort of cut things off. And that's why you want to build a buffer, build a safety net in front of you of maybe you've got 3 or 4 months work, and then you start going, do you know what, let's cut out this, cut out that, and just say, oh, I'm only going to do kitchen resprays or hall stairs and landing jobs from now on. And the people that inquire about other things, you just say, oh, sorry, I can't fit you in at the moment. And then you see, oh, can I still fill my calendar just doing these things? And then you might find that, oh, because I'm not chasing payments all the time, I've got more time to focus on finding more work of just kitchen resprays. And then you go, oh, suddenly all my marketing is very easy. I don't have to advertise in every local magazine in the whole county. I can just specialise in this one little town. I know you get a lot of work from lots of different places, and you've identified where the majority of your work comes from 2 or 3 small little areas, doesn't it? So once you identify that, you can go, well, I don't need to spend any time, effort or money on marketing and advertising in other areas. I'm just going to focus on these 3 and still get just as much money, and it frees up a lot of time for you, I think.
Well, I think it's like putting together an Ikea wardrobe as well, isn't it? Because when you put one of those Ikea wardrobes together, it takes forever. But if you've got 2 to do, the next one, you know what to do, and then the next one, you're a bit faster. So if you're actually sticking to one specific thing, you are going to improve and get better, and then that's going to build your confidence, isn't it? So if you are just spraying, you're going to get yourself. The first time, you're not going to be very good if you don't know what you're doing. But the next time, you're going to learn from the first time, and then you're just going to get better and better, and you're going to build your confidence, and So I think you will actually get there in the end. I think it's just taking baby steps, isn't it? Or maybe just start doing it at the weekends. Maybe just doing that one thing you want to specialise in. On a Saturday or a Sunday or over a weekend, until you actually can say, right, this is what I'm going to do.
Exactly right. And it will take some testing. I mean, part of what the book says is if you want to grow a giant prize-winning pumpkin, you need to start with a prize-winning seed. So you need to start it right. So it might be that you test a few things and you test out wallpapering and it doesn't really work. And you go, okay, well, let's knock that one on the head. Let's try just kitchen resprays, and maybe that doesn't work. And then maybe you go, I'm just going to focus on just exteriors or something like that. And then maybe that does work. You find the right seed, and then you grow your business accordingly. Do it slowly. There's no rush to do it, and it might be hanging wall murals on a Saturday morning. The first time you do it, it might take you most of the day, but if all you did was hang wall murals, you'd probably get to a point where you could do 2, 3, maybe more a day. And then all of a sudden, you're earning as much money in a day as you were in a week. So you've got the rest of the week where you're free to take on other jobs as and when you want, or you know, it's extra time that you're out there quoting because you're not too tired and you can't be bothered to do it on an evening. Suddenly you're sending all your quotes back to your customers on time because you're not knackered. I know you can be you struggle getting the quotes on time, don't you? It's like if you don't do it the same evening, then
I probably should say that I've done three this evening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I don't, I am terrible. If I don't do them as soon as I come back, I know that they won't. They'd stand a good chance of not getting done at all. So it works well as well. And people say, customers say, "Oh, thanks for getting back to me so quickly."
Yeah.
Yeah. Little do they know that if I don't, they probably won't get one.
So I'm just flicking through the rest of this. So your spreadsheet, you've been tracking lots of different things, haven't you? So you've been tracking the town or the little area where most of the work comes from. You've also been tracking where the inquiry came from. Yeah,
and also the value of that inquiry. So you can see, how much from my website has come in, and it is those pivot tables on Excel. If you're a bit of a Excel spreadsheet geek like me, if you find pivot tables, they blow your mind. They take spreadsheets to a whole new level. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God, yeah. So I was there for what I thought was like an hour on Sunday morning. It turned out to be 4, just playing around with pivot tables. But the information it can lay out is amazing.
So I think this is sort of like the first step, isn't it? Is tracking what's going on in your business, and whether you do it with a nerdy little pivot table in a spreadsheet, or whether you're just writing it down and keeping a track of things. So looking at your spreadsheet as it is now, you're in a position where you can identify, what patterns have you seen, where are you seeing most of the work is coming from, and
a lot of
stuff like that.
A lot of it is local area, which is good. So I haven't got to travel too far.
Like within 10 miles.
Yeah, probably within 10 miles, which is good. And sort of the further out you go, the less sort of which I suppose is down. I don't get a lot from Facebook, but I think it is a lot that people like to spend in their local area. So it actually shows on there that.
So like that knowledge alone, now you have it, you could now start cutting those people. You can go, right, I'm only going to work within a 10-mile radius because I know that 90% of the jobs I get comes from that 10-mile radius.
Yeah.
And anything outside that, all I'm doing is wasting my own time and energy because I'm doing quotes and not winning the jobs. I'm spending an hour, 2 hours out of my evenings to go and do those quotes. You start cutting those out and suddenly you've got all that time and that energy back. Then you can immediately start going, well, why don't I just, instead of trying to do work for those shitty jobs that are too far away, leave that time free, and I might get some better jobs closer to home.
Yeah, I mean, also what is it does actually show you. I mean, not in my case, but I can imagine that maybe if you're active in a sort of Facebook group or somewhere that's away from your area, you'll be able to see whether your participation in those Facebook groups actually generates you any return.
Yeah,
because I'm just trying to. There's a area near me, Hazelmere, which is quite good for customers, and there's a few Facebook groups where I post a few bits occasionally. But I'm not even that work. I'm looking at this now. Even that work there doesn't. It's not. I've got, you saw it, didn't you? I've got a green area for good customers, and I've got an amber, like yellow for okay, and then got red where I'm not getting a lot.
Yeah.
And this Hazelmere is sort of like in the amber, so it's not. Although I post in there, it's not getting me a lot of, not a lot of traction, not a lot of sales, or not a lot of interest. So
maybe so you could look at that and go, do you know what? Let's just cut Hazelmere out. I'm going to not post in those forums anymore.
Exactly.
Spend that time focusing on something that is better for me. And it might be, for other people, it might be that they had some listings in a local parish magazine in that town or something like that, and then go, well, actually, I'm not getting enough from that. Let's cut that cost straight away. Let's not advertise in that magazine anymore, and let's focus on just Alton and 5-10 miles around where I actually am, because that's where most of the business is coming from. So let's focus on that.
Yeah. It is. I think it's just about it's work. It's again, isn't it? It's that old saying. It's working. Smarter, not harder, isn't it?
Exactly. So have you seen patterns coming through on where the leads come from, or what sort of jobs they all are?
It's sort of like referrals are local. If existing customers, they're going to be local. What else? Got your email marketing. That was a good one. That got me. That's come up. That was local again. That's another green one. So that's worked. Thank you very much. And the website that seems to get quite a lot of traction. Maybe it's because of the keywords I put in there. I mean, one of the ones I put in was decorators. I put decorators near me, painters near me, painters and decorators near me. There's all sort of those sort of. So that looks like that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Facebook is okay. Facebook near me is all right, and it is. But Facebook is just like in my immediate area. Anything further afield doesn't seem to generate a lot, which then goes to show, I suppose, that people that are looking for recommendations are looking in the local area, not looking too far afield.
So anything sort of more than, let's just say, for argument's sake, 10 miles up from where you are,
it doesn't seem to.
Everything you're doing outside of that is basically wasted effort.
Yeah,
because you're either driving too far to do quotes and wasting your evenings, or you're posting in Facebook groups that aren't getting anything, or your Google ads for those areas aren't working. So, or strip all that away, take all that time and energy away, and then focus it in on the areas that are working, and then finding out how can I over deliver and be even better to these customers where it is working. And then, like you say, a lot of your business is coming from recommendations from very local people. So you work on how can you start getting even more recommendations from those local people. So instead of spending,
it might even be a case of, rather than doing the old email quote, printing the quote out if it's local and taking it round in a folder. So it's proper old fashioned. So it's printed out. It looks smart. They've got stuff to actually sit down and read, rather than read it on an iPad or something. Maybe, and if it's local, it's not a problem, is it? Because there's a chance you're going to be driving past or going that way to go to work or coming home that way.
Yeah, so 100%. So instead of spending your evening driving half an hour there, doing a quote and driving half an hour back for a job in the next town along that you don't really want to be working in, you spend that same time dropping a proper printed proposal round to a good local customer. Or the bloody 10 quid that you spent on fuel, you go, oh, why don't I use that 10 quid to buy a bottle of wine for that last customer? And then that customer is going to refer you to all of their friends. And so you're basically, you've taken that money that you were spending traveling and dealing with customers you don't really want to deal with. You're just using that same money to make your good customers love you even more. And that's going to lead you to much more. The first thing they're going to do is go and tell all of their friends, and that all of their friends are going to be like them, so they're perfect customers for you.
Or you could even do what Alliance did when I got in touch with them the first time. They actually wrote me a handwritten postcard. I got it through the post, but if it's local, why don't you just write it and go and put it through their letterbox? Who else is doing that sort of thing? Exactly.
So instead of the half an hour you're spending in Hazelmere Facebook group, instead of doing that, you write a postcard.
Write a few of those out in the evening.
Drop it in. Yeah, exactly. It's the same amount of your time and effort, but the result is you're going to get more of the sort of customers you actually want. So, are we onto something here?
I think it might be. and also, then it also tells you, doesn't it, that if you do get an inquiry from an area where you're not getting a lot of work, then maybe sort of pre-qualifying more. Have some questions, get some idea of budget.
Yeah, it's about not running around like a busy fool and recognizing that your time is money.
I think that's a lot. I don't know about a lot of decorators, but I think a lot of trades, you're not getting paid to go and quote. It's your time away from your family. If you were in a proper 9-to-5 job, you'd be doing that sort of thing in work hours and getting paid for it. We do it And we were thinking, oh well, you know, leads on to another thing, isn't it? Charging for quotes. I know that's controversial, but I know a few decorators that do charge for quotes, and I think that shows you, you know, that you actually value the information and the knowledge that you've got, and you're
cuts
not
out all the time waste straight away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it only has to be a nominal fee, 10, 20 quid or something like that.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think, you know, the way things are now, people are moaning about, oh, I can't. Well, start charging for quotes and see how that goes. Yeah.
Or start just pre-qualifying, you know, and not going out to see every job that someone rings you about. You don't, if it's too far or it's a wallpapering job and you don't really like wallpapering, then don't do it. Spend that time focusing on other areas.
Yeah, and your local customers.
Exactly, the ones that you like working for, and focus on doing things for them that's going to make them recommend you to all of their friends. As you say, it's balls. You just reminded me of, saw something the other day, and it's, do you own a business or do you just own a shitty job?
I've seen that.
A lot of sole traders are just like, and a lot of people, they think their business is doing well because they might be earning good money at it. But when you want to see if your business is actually successful, you think, can I take myself out of this business? So to take myself out of this business, I need someone to do what I'm doing for the same money that I'm earning. And most tradespeople, when you put the whole package together, like how much do you think you'd have to pay someone to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning to start doing some paperwork, then do a full day on the brush, and then spend 3 or 4 hours in an evening doing quotes? Well, and doing all the accounts and doing all of this, essentially you're, as your one-man corporation, you're doing 3 or 4 people's jobs. Well, if you try to employ those 3 or 4 people, I bet their wages would be a lot more than you're earning. And it's at that point where you go, oh, maybe the business is just, I do need to be charging a lot more money, because if you're going to get to a point where you take yourself out of the business, which I know a lot of people want to do, come off the tools, you've got to be charging enough money that you could pay someone else to do it. And I think a lot of tradespeople earn good money, but it's because they work fucking hard. and they do a lot of hours and a lot of hard graft that, you know, most people wouldn't be prepared to do.
No. And it's like Ryan says, my nipper, he said, you know, he works for the decorator. He's got a small little, he's sort of growing quite busy now.
Yeah.
And Ryan says, I know he puts money on me. He said, if he makes £30 or £40 on me a day, he said, I'm quite happy with that. He said, because £30 or £40 a day is, I said, I'm more than happy for him to do that, to go and find the work, to do the invoicing, to meet the customers, to sort out the paint. He said, that's easily worth £30 or £40 a day.
Yeah.
He said, if he wants to do that and put that onto what I'm getting paid a day, he said, yeah. He said, absolutely. He said, all I've got to do is go to work, turn up, do my sort of 8 till 4, and go home. Don't have to deal with all that. He said, then fine, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people actually see that, do they? A lot of people, all they ever see is, bloody hell, you got £6,000 for that job. You don't actually see all the hard work behind it.
Yeah.
All the shit you have to put up with to get to that, and it's not easy. I mean, admittedly, some jobs are easy and you get lucky, but 9 times out of 10, it's just hard graft.
Exactly. And you're doing, you know, once you total it up, you're doing 60, 70 hours a week.
Well, there's a
reason you earn more than most office workers. It's because you work twice as much as they do.
Well, it's like this morning. It was warm last night. I couldn't really sleep. I was laying in bed, and I got up at 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 jobs that I want to run quite smoothly. They're going to overlap each other. So I just got up and I just wrote down the job specifications and the color schemes and all that, so that I can leave it on the job, so that whoever turns up to that job, they've got what they need to do there. They know the spec of the job. They know where the colours are going. There's a bloody plan of the job with all the colours and all there's wallpapering, so they know where that goes. And I just couldn't, until I actually got that done and got it in place. So I couldn't really settle this morning. But yeah, so I was up at 4:30 doing all that this morning.
Yeah.
And it's, you do it because it's your job and it's your passion and you love it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't, if you were on a 9 to 5, you wouldn't do that, would you? And if you did it and you started it and you didn't do it, someone else would do it. Or it's very but people don't see that. You know, they just see, oh, he's just turned up on the job. Oh, no, he's flying off, and I don't know. Yeah, I suppose I think it's very. I know Ryan's my nipper on that, but it's very unusual for someone, I think, to have Ryan's sort of attitude of, you know, he deserves to be making money on me, and you know, fair play to him, which is quite refreshing, really. Ryan's got a lot of bad faults, but he was quite pride and proud of what he said there.
But I think Ryan's on one of the best deals out of most decorators in the country. He earns a good day rate, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it is, when he's finished, and there is a lot to be said about that. You know, when you clock out and job done.
Yeah.
None of this, and so his boss is making 30 quid a day. Off of him for doing all the running around, the admin, all the stuff like that. I tell you what, you couldn't hire a consultant to do that for 30 quid a day. No. So it's the boss is doing that underpaid, basically.
But people don't see that, do they? All they ever see is, you know, he's made 150 quid off me this week. Yeah, and he could be making 300 quid off you.
Yeah, exactly.
He should be making a lot more. You know, you're like, I don't know.
So have you spotted any patterns in your sheet on what jobs are coming up more often, or what jobs tend to be more profitable?
Pool stairs and landings
are
definitely ones that people don't want to tackle. And of course, it's that exterior season, isn't it? So there's outsides that, and sort of dormer windows. There's a lot of dormer windows where people don't want to tackle those. So
do you make more money on Hall stairs landing jobs?
Yeah, I do. I like Hall stairs and landings are good. I enjoy those. They are, and communal hallways as well. That seems to be a good one at the moment too.
So this is the thing. You could start. Let's say, how far in front are you booked up?
I'm probably I try not to look too much, but I've definitely got enough into the new year. Definitely. I could actually tell you, hang on, let me tell you. I could
the next couple of months.
220 days.
Fucking hell, mate. Right, number one, you need to put your prices up again.
Which is exactly, I've tried that and I still keep getting work.
Yeah, so keep putting them up, because the market clearly suggests that you are worth more money and that people will pay more for money. So number one, you can start putting your prices up, mate. But number two, you could now start pre-qualifying all the inquiries you're getting. You could go, right, if they're not within 10 miles of where I live and they're not a Hall stairs landing, I'm going to tell them I'm too busy and can't accept any quotes. Yeah. And then, so for you, by the time January comes round, you might have 8 Hall stair landing jobs in a row booked up. And then all of a sudden, you've got 2 months of work where it's just Hall stairs landing, which you just said you love doing. They're more profitable, and you'll undoubtedly get better and faster at them because that's all you're doing. So you could put this into test right now, and then all of a sudden you're Mr. Hall stairs landing, and you can start spending these extra things by doing the little handwritten card and the printed out proposals and things like that. And you might start finding that all these, I don't know what your typical customer's like, but if it's, Mrs. Miggins, the 80-year-old lady who wants you to do the Hall stairs landing because there's no way she's going up on stairmates and ladders and stuff like that, she's going to be telling all of her friends at the bingo, oh, go and get Trevor, he's a lovely man, he'll do your Hall stairs landing for you. And you might find by this time next year, you're almost completely just solidly doing Hall stairs landings.
And I mean, this is the thing, profit. If you, and like I say, like we said, if you do that, if it's say for Hall stairs landings, for examples, you can then invest in the proper tools and proper. So rather than whacking a scaffold plank on top of your van and a ladder, you can go and get one of these, these concertina scaffold planks that pull out and they slide together, don't they? You could have that. You could have the proper platform or stairmate, like you said, so that. And that's going to make the job easier for you. You're not going to have to, half the battle is, struggling with stuff that's not quite up to the job, or you've not really thought it through, oh yeah, that'll do, sort of thing, isn't it? But if you're geared up for horse stairs and landings, you know, get the stair rods so that they're in. So you know, so you're not got to put plastic up the stairs. You got the stair rods, you got a dust sheet down, and and the more you do those sort of jobs, the more you'll find little tricks and tips to get yourself around it and do it faster.
Yeah, and the customer will see all of these things,
and you'll look more talking.
Yeah, and they'll be talking about that to their friends. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you should see this guy when he even just putting the dust sheets down and the stair rods and the stair mate that he had and stuff. Everything looked absolutely bang. He wasn't one of these decorators that just turns up and sort of leans over the banister with a long roller. This guy was an absolute pro.
I'll tell you another thing as well that makes a big impression, and I don't think it makes absolutely any difference whatsoever, especially if you're dustless sanding. Maybe if you're not dustless sanding, then it would make a difference. But it's these temporary doorways.
Oh yeah.
Buy one of those. I think they're about 15 quid. I got a couple with my name printed on them, so you look even better. Nice. But just in a room where you're working, just put a temporary door up, and it's even put a temporary door up, and it made a big difference. There was no dust and. But yeah, it's just a lot of decorating or a lot of trades is a lot of it's a lot of showmanship, isn't it? It's a lot of It's
so quick brainstorm then. Let's just say you only do horse stairs and landing from now on. Is there kit in your van or other expenses involved? If I said to you, you've only got to do horse stairs landings from now on, you don't have to do any other sort of decorating. Is there a load of kit that you can start getting rid of? Are there things that you can start cutting back on and saving money and stuff like that?
Yeah, there isn't there. I'm sure, I've just invested in that new, it's lovely as well, that new Leros S, the short Leros.
Yeah.
Perfect for horse stairs and landings. You could never, I mean, you could use the older Leros, the long one on horse stairs and landing. But yeah, that little one is just made for horse stairs and landings. It's brilliant.
So you've got a long one and a short one?
No, Chris from Merca wanted his long one back.
Oh.
So I had it on sort of long-term loan. I was hoping that I had it.
I forget you very rarely pay for things, do you?
That's a little bit unfair, but no.
You haven't paid for Ryan's van yet, have you?
Oh God, no. Yeah. But yeah, so no, I actually bought that Leros S, and it's brilliant. It's a great bit of kit. But yeah, so that sort of thing, then you probably wouldn't need, you could then not have to buy a long one because you're using the short one all the time. And like I say, getting the right, you can buy those platforms, can't you, that are wider, so you can actually go put your ladder against the stairs and not lean it. You can turn your ladder around. You get those, those extension platforms, so you're not got to be struggling to put up a scaffold plank on the roof all the time. So if you're not using that, you can then probably get rid of your roof rack and just put your wheel ladders inside or something. There's bits and pieces like that. There is ways around it.
And you might find that, I don't know, horse stairs landing, you're never really doing doors or anything like that, or you might find that at the moment you only use your sprayer for kitchen cabinets or something like that. Or if you stop doing that, then you don't need a sprayer anymore.
No.
So you save money on that, or make money if you sell your sprayer. So I think there's a lot of things that will probably come out once you started focusing in on a certain area. You'd be like, oh, actually, I don't need this anymore, or I don't need that anymore, or I don't need to spend any marketing money on this anymore because I don't really want to be doing wallpapering jobs.
And the good thing is, the more you do it, the faster you're going to get.
Exactly.
So,
then you're going to have even more time to make your customers even more happy. And I think we're on to it. I think you should try it.
Yeah, I think. I'll have a look. And
it doesn't need to be horse stairs landings, does it? But
no, but we could have a look and see what we got.
Whatever you want to do.
Definitely.
Stop quoting for the shit jobs and put your prices up. If you're booked up for 220 days.
Gosh, mad, isn't it? Yeah. Mind you, got Max, so he'll help. That'll cut that in half.
Well, are there any more apprentices that were on his course that you can pull in as well?
No, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. So it's all on Max. Max is great. He'll do it.
All right. I think that's covered that quite nicely.
I think we've well and truly covered that subject, don't you?
Definitely. Trev, where can everyone find out more information about you? Where are you on YouTube?
I'm on Paint and Decorating Tips by TJ on YouTube. I'm not put much up lately. I need to get back to grips with that. Probably be one on the Leros S, I'd imagine, shortly.
Definitely.
Then at TJ Decorating on Insta, and then on Facebook, and we got the Ryan and I do the podcast, Two Decorators and a Microphone. Give that a listen if you're bored and want a bit of a laugh. People seem to enjoy it. I don't know why, but basically it's Ryan just abusing me mainly, and me trying to calm him down from upsetting the decorating industry.
Yeah, definitely listen to the podcast. Definitely. If you want anything more from me, you can go to my website, jmears.co.uk/ebook, and you can download a free copy of my marketing ebook specifically written for decorators. Trev, once again, thank you very much for joining me.
Cheers, John. A pleasure as always.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Goodbye.
See you later.